Order submitted.
Oh, come on. Come on. Push. Come on, push. Come on.
Order filled.
Okay, what did I get there? Something. Okay, that didn't work out. Okay, good afternoon, folks. Sorry. I don't know whether to left that. I noticed Marco took it as well. It's probably going to work, but it did flick back. To be honest with you, I thought once it started picking off those, it was going to hit that bottom. Let me just see if we can get a failure or something. We may even get back in again. I'm just wondering whether we do something like this. Maybe not. I'm going to wait. Market's just opened, so it's tempting to get back in there, but it's in the middle of that chop a little bit now, so we may get one leg up and a second leg up, which means it'll take that position out there. It hasn't triggered anyway, to be honest with you. So what do we get there? 3, 6 ticks, point and a half. Get rid of that. So it's a lower high. Yeah, so a high plus. It's still holding there, so it may come right round, back round. So, excuse me a sec. I'll say hello in a sec. Everything's closed down, isn't it? Shit, it hasn't.
Order filled.
$207. It's 207.
Order submitted. Order filled.
One of them didn't close. It's getting a bit of a pain in the arse now, that is. It's happening quite a lot. 207. One of them didn't close 207 for some reason. I wasn't quite sure why. Nearly every time now, one of them's not closing. And it actually went down further. And the frustrating thing is I actually lost money in it. So I don't know whether I clicked flat and it reversed it. I'm not sure, actually. It's a pain in the arse. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Bear me a second. Hold on a second. Is that not working? Bear me a sec.
Order submitted. Order cancelled.
For some reason, one of my accounts I lost 3 ticks off for some reason. I don't know why. You know, so my Replicanto, they're usually green, aren't they? One of them was yellow, so I'm assuming that means it hasn't. It's only started happening that recently, so whether it's down to my computer's just not quick enough at the moment, it's hard to say. So, Karina, good morning to you. Jay, how you doing? Little Hammer, how you doing? For some reason, one of my accounts didn't close, so I don't know why that happened. It showed yellow instead of green on Replicanto. So I clicked the cross, which flattened it, and for some reason, I don't know whether it reversed it or what. I don't. It's bloody frustrating me. Anyway, I got some new parts for a new computer today anyway, so let me a second. Can't believe the price of CPUs. For that tiny thing. You see that? Tiny. Absolutely weighs nothing. £600. I can't believe how light that is. Light as a feather. I thought it. Yeah. Ryzen. What is it? Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. £600. I mean, it literally weighs. It's the weight of a mouse. I can't believe £600. See what that weighs. Motherboard. So I've got a motherboard. So I've got some other bits coming tomorrow. I've got a graphics card coming tomorrow and some RAM and a few other bits. Got a bit of thermal paste and some leads. Can't believe how light as a feather. They must make an absolute fortune on them. I mean, it literally weighs nothing. It's tiny. I've got a case coming Friday and a few other bits and pieces. So a lot of issues with Replicanto, unfortunately. This is also part of the game. Replicanto blames it. Yeah, to be honest with you, Replicanto is the one bit of software I've never had problems with up until recently. Just one of them, you know, where they kind of show. So they kind of all show green. Just one of them was showing yellow, so I had to manually flatten it. But I actually got less profit by $75, so I don't quite know what it did. So 175 on some of them and 100 on the other, so I don't know why it's doing that. I click see whether it's reversing the trade or not, I don't know, because if I've lost money, you'd think it would reverse the trade. So I just click flatten all. You can actually individually flatten what's it, but I click flatten all. Whether it was the right thing to do, I don't really know. And I had 6 accounts back then and basically lost them because of Replicanto. See, there is another one, isn't there? The company actually messaged me a while back and said, did I want to have a copy of it? What was it? Can't remember what it's called now. There is another one. I got to say, Replicanto is the one bit of software. Mind you, I haven't updated it for a while. You used to get emails. I don't think it reverses the trade without any reason to pay very clear. Yeah. So it's frustrating. I'm going to have to try and find out why. Now, I know my computer is a little bit slow now, but I can't see that being the problem. I mean, I could be wrong. I can't see it myself, to be honest with you. But I've never really had problems with it. I can count maybe, I've been using Replicanto maybe a year and a half, and I may have had 2 problems with it in that space. Maybe even been longer than a year and a half. But it's the one bit of software I really like. It's been reliable, but the last couple of 3 trades I've taken, one of them's yellow and it seems to reverse. So I might have to do a little bit of asking around later. Softwares fail. They do, but I've I'd say it's happened twice to me in a year and a half, 2 years. It's happened 3 times in 4 days lately, so something's not right. It wouldn't do that otherwise. So I need to find out why, what I think it's down to. So is it down to computer? I wouldn't have thought so, not to reverse it. I haven't had you used to get update emails. Someone said to me a few months ago, have you updated? Like, when I've had an email, apparently you don't get them now. So I don't know. Okay, just bear me a second. Yeah, see, I've lost a tick on one of my Traderify accounts. It's a pain. I'm not quite sure why. I lost 1 tick on that. Now, I know if your computer is a bit slow, you can suffer a little bit more than normal with slippage. And I know, obviously, volatility is slippage as well. What account? Right, okay, so this account here, I got $75. It's actually $69 after fees. And my other 4 accounts, I actually gained a tick. I got $81, so that didn't work out too bad. But on my PA account, so I got 175 on all bar one of them. One of them I got $100, so I don't get it. I don't get it. It's annoying. Anyway, what can you do? For some reason I'm super bright again. I can't seem to figure out. I'm not in a happy place today. For some reason my picture, I'm either dark or white. So even if I put it on auto expose, what's the matter? Where's the auto? Oh, it's on auto. Oh, that's auto focus. Okay, so auto exposure, that's what I want. So that's maybe a bit dark. So let me adjust the compensator. So if I keep it there, why is it? As the light changes behind me in the window, it should compensate automatically. It's not. God, I'm having a bad day today. Okay, let's just do it manually. Trouble is, I'm going to have to keep adjusting it. I'm going to break something in a minute on purpose. Yesterday you also had issues with NinjaTrader. It stopped for some reason while you... That happens once in a blue moon. I hear a little, you know, that little ping it makes just once in a blue moon, but it's never really a problem, to be fair. I think the thing is, now, ordinarily, trading was always kind of done with one pot of money, one account. But the trouble is with, you know, with multiple accounts now, we trade kind of one trade as normal and the rest are copied. Now, obviously, there's a signal sent to the other accounts to copy it, to enter or exit the position, which all takes time. Now, when I say time, it may be fractions of a second or even milliseconds, but time nonetheless. And if price does change or it's a bit volatile, that can make a little bit of a difference. So I don't quite know why, but I've heard it somewhere before that sometimes it can reverse a position, but I don't think it's ever happened to me. Maybe once. But it's happened to me the last few trades I've taken. So what I'm going to have to do is just, because there is a flatten button on the end line where I can flatten individual ones. I think I'd rather do that rather than flatten them. Just click the flatten all button, because I don't know whether flatten all may reverse something. I don't know. So I'll just have to keep an eye on it. It does only seem to happen to one. It may have done 2 or 3 a couple of days ago. So I'm just... What I might do is just go onto the Replicanto website, make sure things are updated, see if there's any fresh information about something, and then maybe just keep... That's all I can do is do what I can do, keep on top of it, and the rest is, you know, I suppose that's the downside of trading multiple accounts, you know, but it's a trade copy. It should work. It's designed for multiple accounts. We'll see. I'll just have to keep my eyes on it. There I go again. Lights, dark. I've got a little blackout blind for that curtain. I may start using it. At least I can control the light then a little bit. Are you using ATM copy? No, I'm using Replicanto. So Replicanto is, it's just a piece of software that you buy for NinjaTrader, and it just, you use a lead account and you trade a lead account, and it just copies to your other accounts, obviously where you enter and where you exit. But I've heard bits of rumours. Sometimes something can be reversed. To be honest with you, touch wood, I don't think I've ever really had a problem with that. Maybe once, maybe twice in 2 years, but not enough to remember it. So whether that's down to, I don't know. I suppose inevitably there may be something to do with the speed of a processor. I've had my computer now for 4.5 years, so it's not the quickest. It's not the quickest out there now. So I've been doing a little bit of research, and I do tend to watch a lot of the videos from Easytrader in the UK, which build computers for traders. So they're up to date with the software and the various stresses and strains that a certain computer might be under, you know, when trading. Obviously, I've got a little bit more than your average trader. I've got YouTube running, which obviously it was all the comments. So I've got something called OBS as well, which is processing it all. So your average trader wouldn't necessarily have those. I've also got Discord open, which a lot would, and so I've got lots of bits of software. So what I can gather, hey bud, how you doing? What I can gather is, I'll talk to you in a second, Russell. That's come across before that. We'll talk about that in a sec. I've gone blank now. What's I saying? So Easytrader. So I've been following them for a while, and they talk about the system that's benchmarked, which gives it a kind of a rating, if you like. And he said, bare minimum nowadays, you want a benchmark of 25,000. Mine benchmarks at I think 22,000, but he said a benchmark of 60,000 plus is ideal. Now all these bits of system that I've got benchmark at 70,000, so maybe it's the computer that's a little bit slow. It's possible. So obviously, you know, the processor processes it all, so on and so forth. So maybe that has something to do with it. There's a possible second entry short here, but we've had what looks like 2 legs down, but we haven't hit support, so it may still come down. I haven't forgotten, Russell. I'll come to that in a sec, bud. So there's 2 legs down there, not exactly. We've had a little kind of a micro with a break. So I use an ATM copy. I am not, I don't think. So this is my thing at the moment. I have the lead account, which is the same one there, and I select all these. I can pre-allocate some and so on and so forth, and I just keep it there, and that works. And I've done the same thing since I've had this bit of software, which is probably...
Order submitted.
What is that? Which is... What is going on there? Excuse me a sec. There's a second entry short there. I like that. Where's Replicanto? Something's just gone wrong with Replicanto. I've got another yellow one. What is going on here?
Order filled.
Wow. Right, I've got loads flat and all now. Yes,
Order
I've got loads
filled.
which didn't close. Oh my God, what's going
Order
on here?
filled.
I mean, that did move slow, so one's still showing for some reason. Bear me a second. Where's my phone? One of them's still showing. Hold on a second. Sorry. Just going to go in and manually close it. I think everything's closed anyway. God, this is stressing me out. What the hell? That was a nice trade that on there. I really like that. And look how well it worked. It rocketed down. So, oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is frying my nut, this is. So that worked anyway. So that worked really well, that. Did anybody else take that? Yeah, I think so. So I really like that. I thought that was an absolute corker. So let me just mark this up. Lovely second entry short. Second entry short. Computer. Plus 3 points. Bear with me a second. Oh, so I've got 2 trades today, so that's worked out quite well for a change. Bear me a second. There's quite a few of them didn't shut then for some reason. It's worrying me now. Oh, right, okay. Everything's closed now. Now, I'm still 100 short on the one of them. I was anyway, so that's not too bad. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1,100. 2, 3. That's about $3,000 up so far for the day, which is pretty good. Let's have a look. Okay, so sorry about that. Okie dokie. How you doing, bud? It's featured on Replicanto. So, yeah, for some reason, I'm just going to have to keep an eye on that. I couldn't seem to close them for some reason. I don't know why that happened. But to be honest with you, the trouble is, if it shows on Replicanto, it doesn't necessarily mean there's an order open. Because I went into my phone and into into Rhythmic, the mobile app, and it wasn't showing there was any orders left open. And when I look at NinjaTrader, all the accounts are right, bar 2 of them. One of the Apex account was 100 down after the first trade, and I lost a tick off one of the Tradeify accounts on the first trade. So nothing changed on the second one for some reason. So I don't quite know why it did that. Yeah, same here, mate. Yeah. Bear me a sec. So another second entry short here. Trouble is we're into support here, so I would have to be super duper careful. It's very rare I take 2 trades in a day. Incredibly rare. Got more chance of getting a blowjob than 2 trades in a day. Sorry, Karina. I didn't want that came out. Anyway, ATM copy. Do they really? When I get my head straight in a few minutes, mate, I'll ask you again about that. So, are we getting another 2 legs up here? This is so tempting. Do I take it again, or we bounce below? So bloody tempting that is. I probably should take it, to be fair. No, not now. There's no space. I should have taken that one, to be fair. I should have taken that one, mind you. This just, that one hasn't triggered. That one there isn't though. It's a nice setup though, but the trouble is we've just broken the lows here. So as I say, I normally go for 3 points. So I would have to get down here. So I'll be inclined to take 2 1/4, say 2 points there. I think it'd probably work. It's a nice setup. You can't argue about that. But you know, when you see 3 trades in the first 20 minutes, something just feels a little bit too suspicious to me. So if you're going for 6 ticks, there's another trade. That's a bit of a mind blow, that is. This one hasn't triggered on the right. This one has. There's just not enough room to the lows, really, which depends. It depends Be interesting to see how far this goes. So if you get in there at the moment, you'd have got 0.5 because you'd have had to push through. Now I go for more than that, as you know, but I've got no issues with taking, say, 2 points, 2.25 to the lows. There's a little bit of a stem there. And I prefer that body there, but the trouble is, you know, when they say winning trades sometimes can be as detrimental as losing them, sometimes you get a bit too confident. I never do. I'm more than happy. There's a lower high there. I can see this continuing down. But the trouble is, there's no space to the lows. I'm more than happy going away after one. I don't get the greed factor as such. I get to take the stupid trade, ridiculous evaluation trade, but when I've got money and I'm making money in account, I don't go stupid. That's part of the reason why I left that. My slight concern is we've got a lot of support down here. We've just broken the lows. I mean, it's working beautifully. So I think it's a case of if you see a trade, regardless of whether you've just taken one, if you think it's a good trade, you should still take it, really. Let's have a look. Thought there was room for it. I waited to close the lows. Congested. No, I didn't. Dan didn't take it. I'm quite surprised, actually. I mean, part of the reason I left it is we'd just broken the lows, but it's 2 legs up and it worked. It's 2 legs up. Even with that massive bearish bar and the lower high, it still worked. So just because we've broken the lows and there is support doesn't mean it won't continue down. But I've taken 2 trades and it's very rare for me. So I kind of get to that stage where I'm thinking, don't push your luck. But I'm amazed. I've seen that one on the left. I think that was as good as a second entry gets. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch. 2 beautiful legs up, lovely bearish bar. It doesn't look any nicer than that. Right in the perfect place. And you can see how nice it worked because it dropped like a stone within a second. So really nice trade. That one, slightly risky. Channel break, new high, big bearish bar, lower high. You'd expect another leg down, which we got. So I think that was a 9.5 out of 10. That was an 8.5 out of 10. But what do? You have to make a decision. Would that have got my points? No. See, I wouldn't have got my 3 points out of that. So part of the reason I left it a bit of a stem, the fact that we've just broken the lows, you don't know whether we're going to have a pullback or a break, because you can bet there's going to be traders following this down and getting out of profits around about this area. So when you get those 2 legs back, you're thinking, ooh, is there likely to be a bit more of a pullback? So, Christ, look at this. There's almost a failure here. What's going on today? It's been crap September. I think we might get a decent September in one day at this rate. So another 2 trades and I'll be well into the 2000 level on my Traderify accounts. Same again, I'm between 1600 and 2000 on my Apex account. So it only takes an half decent day just to bump things up a little bit. Trouble is when you're seeing it like this nearly every time. I mean, we got 2 legs up and a lower high and a failure. There's bound to be traders going long here. So when do you know it was time to quit your job? I learnt the hard way. I quit mine after a month. So I started trading It'll be November. 5 years this November. And I'd never done any kind of trading. And I started with currency with a guy called Andrew Lockwood in the UK. And I did 6 months with him. And all I remember about trading currency is having screens everywhere and charts everywhere. You know, we had 4 or 5 or 6 different currency pairs. We had the hourly, the 4 hourly, the daily. All I remember is seeing charts. So I started watching a guy called Michael Chin. Most of you guys all know him. As a US guy that kind of learnt from Mac and kind of nicked his idea. And what I found refreshing is he was trading one chart, one time frame. That's it. And the trades were quite quick in and out. And that's what I liked. So I did that for a month. And we just happened to be in an uptrend, and I was just buying at the bottom, and it seemed to be working. And I just kind of worked out in my head, I'd have made about £400 in the last couple of days if I'd have been trading this. So it was a Friday. I was working 20 miles away on a building site laying bricks, and I stopped at a garage to buy a coffee. And I just decided to phone me boss up and tell him to shove his job. And I drove home and said to my wife, trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be a trader. I took £5,000 of my own money, put it into my account, and lost it in about 3 weeks. So I learnt the hard way. So I didn't start making money as such. I was making little bits. I think I went more full time about 1.5 years ago, I think. So I realised this is what I wanted to do. So I went from working on a building site from like 7:30 till 4 o'clock. And then I would trade from say 4 till 8 or half 4 till half 8. And I knew this is what I wanted to do, so I gave up that job and went driving HGV, driving an oil tanker, because I had a Class 1 licence. And I was working all day Friday, all day Saturday, Sunday and Monday, so I'd work all the weekend, do a 4-day week, better money, and then I could trade kind of 3 full days. And then I started making bits of money, and I was getting money from affiliate, and it was just giving me enough. So that's when I decided, probably 1.5 years ago, to go full time. So to answer your question properly, I would say that the trouble is, when you do decide to give up your job and go full time, there's automatically you're going to have pressure on you, because you're going from maybe you go in from kind of your full-time job with trading, so you've got money coming in, so you don't technically have to worry about making money, and you do feel a pinch a little bit trying to make money, because ideally, a few experienced traders told me when you stop trying to make money, you make money. So I would say really keep working part-time, or make sure you've got maybe 6 months wages tucked aside or something like that, that you can use potentially to take away the pressure. There looks like a triple test there. Trouble is, we're coming away from here, so that's concerning me. So it's not easy, bud. I was lucky because I had around about $1,000–1,200 from affiliate links, so that considerably helped me with the part-time wage I was on. So I was fortunate. So, it's a tough one. That's why I initially went from working full-time to working part-time. So I was keeping an income in, but I was, committing the time to trade. So it's a tough one, mate. It's a tough one. You definitely need a little bit of money behind you, or at least build your accounts so that when you do give up your job, you can foresee, a small income coming in. And obviously, you've got to have a certain amount of skills. Initially when I started, I lacked that. I lacked the patience. Patience is probably my strongest point now. It was probably my worst when I first started. I always thought patience would be my toughest hurdle, but one of the issues I still have it from time to time. When I get a new PA account, I tend to double up. I've got a habit of trying to get a little bit of a boost, and that can lead to some loss accounts. Now, when I get money in my accounts, generally, I'm very careful. I don't take stupid risks. I'm still susceptible from time to time to a little bit of revenge trading if things go wrong, but I've put things in place to mitigate those, like locking my stop, you know, that kind of thing. I'm currently part-time too, but I'm looking to actually... I will say, when I actually finally gave up part-time work, it was the best feeling in the world. But, you know, I mean, I suppose it's common sense, isn't it? You obviously have to rely on making money there. So I'd say, or I actually went driving trucks part-time, and the beautiful thing in the UK about, if you've got a class 1 license, ideally articulated vehicles, there is so much work available, it's unreal. And agency work, I could pick up the phone today and be working tomorrow. So I knew if things went wrong and I wasn't making money, I could just jump back on the trucks. So I was fortunate. But, you know, some people have got jobs and careers that they've had for years, and it might not be easy to jump into some part-time work, but you know, maybe as a backup, get yourself a cab license. I know a trader buddy who went from working full-time to driving an Uber. I think Los Angeles he works. So he went driving Uber, so he had a little bit extra, or he could quickly jump back into some kind of work, you know what I mean? So you've got to kind of protect yourself a bit and not sort of pile on the pressure, because if you know you have to make money, otherwise you're not going to be able to pay your mortgage or your rent, that does add pressure. And we all know too much pressure in trading does make trading so much more difficult. So it's just finding some balance and just giving yourself that little extra protection, you know, should things, you know, get a little bit slow. I mean, my wife works anyway. My wife earns okay money, not a huge amount, but okay money, and I got a supportive wife. So it does help. Wife paid your mortgage. No, my wife doesn't earn that much. My wife, she only works sort of Monday to Thursday. She's on about 23, 25,000 a year, so she's not a huge amount. So no, we don't own our home, we rent it. We had our own home years ago. I had a business about 20 years ago, not quite, 18 years ago, and it kind of went down around about 2007. We had that kind of credit crunch 2007. I just stopped getting work, and we ended up having to sell it at the end. And then we temporarily lived with my mum for 12 months while we kind of got back on the saddle. But after the credit crunch, you couldn't get mortgages for love nor money. They wanted, you had to have big deposits and all this sort of stuff. So we just ended up renting, and that's kind of how it's been. Work is always available. But you're a dentist, are you? Price, you guys earn a bloody fortune. Why are you trading? Trader's another level. I have never done anything as hard as trader. It's weird, isn't it? See, I'd say being a dentist, you gotta have a relatively good education. You've got to have gone to university or what do they call it, dental school or whatever, for 3 years, 5 years, something like that. So it's a professional job. I thought dentists earn, sure, our dentists earn 60, 80,000 plus per year. I mean, what I will say is when you can trade, what I love about trading is there's no limit to where, you know, it's kind of like walking into your first day at Amazon and Jeff Bezos comes up and says, okay, sky's the limit. If you work hard, you can get right to the top. So you've got that scope to be able to earn unlimited amounts of money. One of the other thing, which is incredibly rare, is having the freedom to do what you want when you want. I mean, I could get up from my desk now and walk away and have a month off if I could financially. With a job, you couldn't. You couldn't just decide one day as a dentist, I'm not going in for a month. You know, you've got commitments. You know, a lot of people have worked at, you know, with companies for years and years, and they've got pensions. You can't just up and walk away. You know, people have got careers. But with trading, it's one of the very few jobs that you've got that absolute freedom to do what you want. You know, if I had a business, let's say, I don't know, I was a painter and decorator, and I had customers that I built up over years and it was paying my mortgage, you can't all of a sudden decide to shut your business down for a month. You'd lose your customers. You know, and you're obviously tied to living where your business is. Whereas with trading, all you got to do is sling your laptop under your arm and disappear abroad and work from there. You know, I have a couple of trader pals that I've met over the last 4 years that live in various parts of the country that gave up everything and moved abroad. It's almost like the perfect business. You know, apart from, you know, you sort of, your computer and your internet, really, if you were trading your own pot of money, there's no overheads. You know, you don't need business, you don't need vehicles, you don't need insurances, any type of premises, and all the other bits and pieces that come, you know, that go along with the business. So it's perfect in a sense, but it's an absolute nightmare to get to where you need to be, purely and simply because human beings really make poor traders. We're not really best designed. You can obviously learn to adapt, but we're not natural traders. You know, we panic, we stress, we're very, you know, kind of money orientated. If you lose money, you panic, you do silly things. But that does come in time, and I'll let you know when I'm when I'm there. I'm pretty close. I don't do as stupid things as I used to, but I stopped doing it very, very slowly. But you know, when you can do it, it's great. It's great if you've got families. You wanted to be a doctor, but it didn't happen. Too expensive. Yeah, I think you'd have made a good doctor. But same again. I've said this 100 times. I think women make better traders than men because generally they're less gung ho. They kind of accept things. They're a lot more patient. Men just get a little bit too excited, don't they? Speedy, how you doing, my friend? So there's a channel here with a little break. Look in here. There's possibly a triple test here. It fits quite nice there. It's very tempted to take that, but I'm going to refrain. 1, 2, 3. It looks okay, that, but I actually think that's an okay trade. But, and I say this with a big but, I'm going to wait for the lower high. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Triple test anyone? The trouble is, there's no point in asking a lot of the people on the Discord because that isn't a decent setup for a triple test. It looks like it's working. It looks okay here. I mean, it is a break. Well, it's worked. It's worked. Perhaps I should have just taken it. Trouble is, I've seen 2 trades today, and when I see a third, something just feels so suspicious. I mean, really, it's actually quite a nice looking. My only slight concern is here. It looks like we've had a break on this chart where I'll be taking it. It doesn't look like we got a touch, and that section fits. So it doesn't look like we've had a break there. Here, yes. Channel break, new high. I mean, we've got a channel here. We're coming away from You can see we're coming away from the bottom of the channel here. So when that happens, especially 3 times, I expect a break, which we've had. So there is quite likely liquidity down. Well, there will be liquidity down here. So whether we'll get down there. So if we have a break here, a couple of pushes, we may clear this level. Now, whether we continue down or not, I don't know, but I'd expect a retest of these lows, but that's quite a sizey channel. And generally, my experience is the bigger the channel, the bigger the break, not a small break and straight down. So we may get a leg up and a second leg up. But because we've had that triple test, it might be more difficult to get above this. It may not make a difference. I'd expect a bigger break than that, but as we've had that triple test, you know, the more shorts there, the more chance that level has got of being protected. But because of the size of the channel, I'd foresee a bigger setup, so a bigger break. So maybe we may get something like that. That will be a better size for here. I'd expect it to be a little bit difficult to get through there. All right, buddy, how you doing? You didn't know I stream, no? I've been streaming now, mate, for knocking on 3 years now. I think it'll be 3 years. I think this December. Yeah, I think December. It's definitely helped me. And not only that, you get loads of free stuff. Not much actually, but the good. Well, any trades today? Funnily enough, mate, I've taken 2 actually, both winners, which is rare for me. I rarely take 2. I took that one on the second chart, which is the break at end of day deselected. We had a really beautiful setup there, 2 lovely legs up, beautiful big bearish bar, and that thing just dropped like a stone. And this one as well, I think Marco took this one. We got kind of a little with a break, lower high. I'm expecting to retest these lows, in other words, have another leg down, which it did, and that worked as well. I got out, came back on me a little bit, so I got out a bit early, but there you go. But yeah, 2 trades. I can count on one hand how many trades I've taken in 2 days in the last 3 months. I rarely take 2 in a day. I'm usually super strict, but I couldn't argue with them 2. So channel break new high. Now that's a fair sized channel, so I would expect a larger break. So I wouldn't even consider a short until we got a bit higher. But we are finding some support here, so that may stop it from going up. Yeah, so Dan took that one as well. He took it on that chart. There's not much difference, actually. That, for me, looked a little bit better. I'll just take it on whichever looks the best. He took that triple test. Same 2 legs up, but because I'd taken 2 trades, I left it because I rarely take 2 trades. If we can get a lower high here, I would have a go at that. As I say, it may not get higher because of the support across here. So channel break new high. I'm looking for that move below that EMA and then a lower high. Still may go a bit higher, but I have a feeling because of all this support here, it ain't going to go much higher. Trouble is, once it gets below that line, I think people are going to be pretty clear where it's going. So we may not even get a pullback. It may just start pushing down, clear that, and then down we go, as often it does. But there's always a possibility we can push up. 2 bounces and push up a bit higher and have a bigger leg up. But if we can get and close below that EMA, my gut feeling is coming down. So see what I mean about that coming down. I think once it gets below there with such a clear move down with a channel break new high, I think it's pretty obvious where price is going. And that's the thing. When that happens, you just don't get a pullback. Once it gets below there, I think it'll get easier. And that's the frustrating thing. So, I mean, look, we're halfway down, over halfway down now, so I can't see it pulling back much. But you never know, we could have 2 attempts and a second bigger attempt, followed by then the move down. Triple test, which one, bud? This one, I didn't, I left it. Now I go for a flat 3 points, and I think it wouldn't have worked. It would have to push through. So the reason I left that is because it's still within that channel. So I left it because it's quite a nice fitting channel. So often you still have a break at a new high, and it wasn't much of a break considering the size of the channel. So I kind of weighed up my odds and left it. And after this push down, I was looking for the lower high there, but I didn't think we'd get it because it's pretty clear where prices are going. And if it's that clear, often it doesn't come back. That's the downside to, you know, waiting for the lower high. Sometimes you just don't get it. I don't think Dan took a trade there. I don't think he did. Be surprised if Thomas Wade hasn't taken a few trades today. So he's taken 1. He's taken 2 or 3 actually. No, high could be interesting. Yeah, he's definitely taken 2 today so far, as of here. So, did look nice here. I was very tempted, but there's not much room to the lows. That's the trouble. And we've just broken overnight lows, so you just don't know. We may have 1 bounce. We may just trigger that and get another bounce, but there's no space. To the lows there. I mean, you're literally on the lows, a tick below, and 2 ticks away, you're at the lows. There's just nothing there. You don't know it's going to do this. If it's strong enough, then it often will, but it did come back. And it did take a bit of time. I'd have had to wait through all that to get down here. And I'd already taken 2 trades, so I kind of... you know, I kind of consider myself fortunate enough to be there at the right time, and they look good enough, so I didn't want to push my luck, especially with just no room to the lows. I still think we'll come down and break these lows. It just may not be as quick as we think. We may get a few attempts up here. Ooh. Lot of money in the business, absolutely. I mean, the potential, that's the beauty of this business. The potential is there to earn as much money as you really want to. And that's what I like. The trouble is, you know, you get into a lot of companies and a lot of businesses nowadays, you're limited to where you can go. But with this business, you know, you can get higher and higher, and you can earn more and more. Oh, excuse me. Karina's my manager. I might have to go make myself a coffee in a minute. I'm yawning again. I don't know what's about me lately. The last few days I've been yawning. Our friends are bricklayers. They're making a killing. Yeah, it's pretty good money, actually. I think when I was bricklaying, I had bricklaying now for about 4 years. I think I was making about $1,000 a week. About £200 a day normally. The trouble is with bricklaying, can't really lay in the rain. If it's raining, a little bit of spitting is not too bad, but if it's raining, and let's face it, we live in the UK, so it rains a lot, you lose money. Oh, excuse me. I mean, yesterday we had a really windy day. Today, can't lay in the wind. If it's too windy, your walls will just blow down. There's nothing worse than spending all day laying a wall, and all of a sudden you get a gust of wind and the thing collapses. So you got to mess around trying to prop them up. Same with the winter. It's got to be 3 degrees centigrade and rising. If it's below 3 degrees, you can't. The water molecules and crystals in the mortar freezes, and you don't get the bonds. So there's a lot slowing you down. So it sounds good money, but when you lose the average of a day a week, it's, you know, not always that case. They hire women. I've worked with a female bricklayer. Yeah, not many. Not that not capable. But it's, I don't know, it's just more of a guy's job, really, isn't it, out there getting muck? I mean, I spent quite a while doing footings. In fact, I got a video somewhere of me laying footings, walking in foot thick mud. But yeah, it can be. Oh, sorry. In the summer, long as mind you, you know, I've worked in temperatures that hot. We're drinking 4 litres of water in just the first 2 hours. I've been laying bricks outside till I felt physically sick, because it's been that hot and you're just dehydrated. You can't seem to drink enough. But in most of the time, the weather, it's a lovely job. You know, when it's all nice and dry and you're out, you're always nice and tanned. You're always kind of in shorts and that in the summer. Oh. Wow, I'm having a yawning fit. I had one yesterday. I got a little video of me somewhere, up to my neck in it. Yeah, I think that's one of the last jobs I did. When was this? 2019. So that's about 6 years ago. I did that gable, so I spent all afternoon there. It's beautiful weather. It was just lovely up there. You get a lovely view. Hey Chris, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, mate? So when it's nice, it's lovely, but it does get super hot sometimes. No, heights don't bother me. Not too bothered about heights. Talking about heights. That's me at 19, I think. It was a 19. 19 or 20. It may have been 20. Just before I got shot out of a cannon. Just looking for oh, excuse me. I can't see it now. You see a lot of photography as well. I used to do some photos for the local paper. That was what they call the flower show where I live in Shrewsbury. That was 12 years ago. Took some photos for the local newspaper. That was one I took of Paul Hollywood. Just looking for the video where I'm up to in neck in mud. That was it, I think. Yeah, that was one of the last jobs I did. Doing footings. So some days it can be like that, and I think a couple of days later that was full of water. So some days it's alright, but other times you're just up to your neck in. Yeah, doesn't get any better. So it can be a mucky old job sometimes. So what is going on here? In fact, I'm not bothered about taking a trade today, to be fair. I'm up really nice, actually. I'm up over 3,000 today on my account, so I'm really pleased with that. Can't remember the last time we got 2 trades so quick. I mean, they were almost back to back. That one was around about here, and that one was further down. In fact, to be honest with you, that trade there was just as good, if not, I mean, that was the best. I think that trade was better. The only slight issue with that is you didn't have much space. Yes, I think there's a good chance it was going to go down and get your points. But if I go for 3 1/4, I'd have to sit through all that. Which the way things are at the moment, there's probably about 10 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes. But if it's a good enough position, it'll work. And like that one, I love it when they're tight under that EMA. That for me, bearish bars like that, along with that second, they don't look any better. It's right at that key entry point, right at the EMA, and it's just beautiful, tucking straight under it. I love it, I do. It's just lovely trades like that. And then that one, I left it. 1, the bar was big, and 2, very close to the lows. So I'm doing the right thing by leaving that there. You don't know what it's going to do. And we'd obviously just broken the lows, so you don't know whether we're going to have profit taking, which may create more of a pullback than we had there. So how long are we going for now? An hour. I'm going to take a quick break now. And go make myself a cup of coffee. Let me just check everything's shut down as it is. So I've just spotted something. Now I'm just going to leave things. So I'm just going to take a quick 5 minutes. My break thing there. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make myself a copy. I've got a yawning fit. I had one yesterday for some reason, so I'm just going to leave that with you. And I'll be around about 3 to 5 minutes, and I will be back. Okay. I didn't miss much. Okay, so channel down with a break. 2 legs down. Haven't yet made a new low. Will we? Not sure. So we've had 2 legs down, 2 attempts to make a new low. Sometimes it won't. It doesn't often happen. So still may come down yet. I suppose you could kind of do that. So a couple legs up. It may still come down. Trouble is, we've made 2 attempts to, so sometimes it won't. Doesn't often happen. So I wouldn't automatically assume we're definitely coming down. FOMC tomorrow, is it? See, any of these holiday days, I just trade them normally, so I don't find they make the trading any more difficult. I suppose it can just be a little bit slower, I think. So some people don't just, I do hear the odd trader saying, I just don't trade FOMC, I don't trade CPI. CPI, I'd trade CPI. I don't think it's a bad day, CPI. Obviously, you've got the news, and that can create a little bit of fireworks, but some people just avoid them like the plague. As long as you're careful, I think. So we got 2 legs up here. Now we're at the key entry point. Trouble is, as we've made 2 attempts to push down, I don't want to automatically assume we're going to make a 3rd attempt because we may not. And as I'm 2 up today, what I find worse than losing a trade is giving money back when I've made it. I very rarely do that. So unless we get an absolute jaffer, I won't be taking another trade. I'm up nice today. See, on my PA accounts, I'm up 425. My Traderify accounts, I'm up 225. So I'm up a nice amount today. So one wouldn't want to be careless and give it away. So it is a second entry short on this. So it may not be a bad option, but at the moment, I'm sitting tight. This is the time to I may get an evaluation, mind you, the time it takes to get an evaluation. That trade will be gone. Very tempting. What's one of my lower accounts? 10. So let's do this. Let's do 10. That one there. Okay, I don't like the stem all of a sudden. You know, I say this, I say if a trade isn't good enough to take on all of my accounts, I shouldn't take it. And I have a habit of doing that, going, oh, it looks a bit more risky, let's take a trade, instead of just avoiding it, which is what I should be doing. If I don't think a trade's good enough to trade on all my accounts, I should leave it alone. Now, it is 2 legs up, it is off that key entry point. My only slight concern is we've had 2 pushes to a new low and we've got close. So it may work, but in all fairness, that little stem there, if that finished bearish below there, then I'd probably have a go at them. But just that wick concerned me. And not only that, some traders have got this. So if it is a channel like that, don't really want to be going short when we've bounced off what could be the bottom. So we could have 2 legs down, 2 legs up, may trap some shorts there and rock it up. I don't think it will, but there are a few traders who've got that. In other words, just shorting into these lows. Not for me anyway. I don't like the range at the moment. There's something I don't like about the range. This looks more. We got touch. Visually looks okay as well, but I don't like the wick. And as we've had 2 pushes, I just want to give this a little bit of time to figure out what it wants to do. Just going to see what this does, and I'm going to finish early today. I've had a good day today, so I want to go away nice and green and nice and happy. I've done some long hours lately. I've tended to trade between 4 and 6 hours lately. I didn't used to trade that long because I usually do an hour before the stream. But as I'm up 2 trades today, what I don't want to do is change that. So there you go. Bart, how you doing, my friend? Are you trading today? It's been a good day today. I can't remember the last time I took two trades. That one, an absolute beauty. They just don't look any better than that. And I took the lower high there. And there was another good one here as well. Was it that one? Here on that chart there. Absolute beauty. The trouble is it was a big bar and there wasn't much room to the lows. You're back and streaming. Good on you, mate. It's been a great day today. I mean, it's rare you get trades like that. One that good and another one that good within close proximity. It rarely happens, to be fair. Usually when we get these big downtrend days, well, I say days, certainly, you know, a good chunk of the late morning, sometimes these can be the most trickiest to trade, but you rarely get setups that good and like that. I mean, we've had that 2 legs up, then we've had a kind of a couple of legs down, 2 legs back up. Great setup, but there was only a couple of ticks to the lows, so I tend to, you know, Mackle probably won't take that. The trouble is, if it's that good, often when we get these sort of pullbacks, often it'll move down and move for quite a bit more. But not only that, we'd broken the lows, so you don't know. If you look at this, we broke the lows, we pushed up, we bounced right at the lows, the overnight lows, and we bounced a second time as we push down. So we've had, you can see that you can see the lows there, and look where it went right through. Support and resistance there, so you just don't know what it's going to do. It may trigger you and push up and have a break here because of the lows. So this just bit of support and resistance at the overnight lows just made me a little bit nervous. I'd already taken 2 trades by then, so the simple thing to do is you know, things are going well. Why risk it if I don't feel comfortable? There was another triple test there. I left it because this is fitting so nice in that channel. It's quite strong. So, as you know, I go for 3 points. I don't think it worked. No, I'd have just missed that, seeing there's nothing worse than losing a trade for a tick. And not only that, when it takes you out for 2 ticks, it then ends up going in that same direction. So, and the reason I think it came back up and took that level out is because that channel, that bar was in that channel, and we did what we usually do at a break, new high. And then all of a sudden we did have a really nice triple test, and then down that came. So why am I looking bright again? So, yeah, so it's been quite an easy, predictable day today. Sometimes it's just random and it's bounced all over the place. You know, and other days the market really plays the game well, and we kind of have it easy. Second entry short worked. Same again, I didn't like the stem, but it did work. So all these setups, 1, 2, 3 triple test, that worked. Second entry short, that worked. Even 2 legs back, even that worked. Second entry short, lower high worked. Maybe a breakout pullback. It's just been a really good day today. I mean, that's an absolute, that for me is an A+. It's as good as it gets. Beautiful little setup, small pullback, 2 legs up, trapping longs, beautifully looking the area of trade there. So I really like that. And same again there. Look how perfect it is. The reason I didn't take it is because there wasn't much room to the lows. Apart from that, setup wise, context concerned me. Setup was beautiful. And not only that, it never triggered. So does it really matter? Max seems to think it does. I'm not super convinced. Sometimes it just won't. Doesn't mean it's a bad trade, but then the trouble is then you're starting to come away from the channel there, aren't you? You can clearly see that. So it's losing this downward momentum, and then I expect a break, and it almost always happens. So let me have a look. So all I wanted to do is to see that pushed out. So I'm done for the day. Actually, how long have I been going for? An hour and a half on the stream, 2.5 hours trading. But it's a nice day today. I'll be surprised if most traders haven't got a couple today. But it's working really nice. Little break, push down, testing. I mentioned that. That's where I expect it to get to. You can see where we had them 2 legs down that bounce. You can see, you know, where it was supported there. So I wouldn't be surprised. Not only that, channel down with a break, new low, overshoot, testing those lows, may come down. In fact, that's sat right at the right place there. So we may get a bounce in that direction here. It's hard to say. So I'm going to leave you guys there. So good day for me. I'm well pleased. So I'm going to enjoy my day. So best of luck to you. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe, and we'll catch up tomorrow. You take it easy, Bart.